ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
I will start
Good evening,
in
ma'am.
5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Geeta.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, UI path examples I want to schedule.
What example? UI path?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I will share my screen, ma'am. Hi, ma'am. I'm Dharamra from the Kavita Computers, ma'am. First, I will show the web script scrapper. This is example. Before that, I want to show something. This is a Excel sheet, ma'am. In that, we have taken a technology and a repository numbers. We have in web scraping, we have to show the repository numbers.
Okay.
This is a example, ma'am. First, here we have taken a bill data type. In that, we have taken the data types like technology list and the repository numbers. After that, we have come to a flow chart. We have taken an Excel read Excel sheet file. In that, we have taken our path, that Excel sheet where the Excel sheet is there. And after that, we have added the sheet number, and we have taken now here we have web script like a Chrome, and after that we have taken a search GitHub search. After that, we have write the Excel sheet, ma'am, for the output, ma'am.
Okay.
Now it is running, ma'am.
So
Sorry, ma'am. 1 minute, ma'am.
okay. What is next?
Ma'am, it comes to the repository. No. It's taking a repository numbers, ma'am.
Okay.
After that, it will shown in Excel sheet, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Okay. Anything else?
Ma'am, all 5 examples are done, ma'am. Now it will come in Excel sheet, ma'am. This is a repository. After that, here moving files, ma'am. This is a source file where we have taken eight source files.
Hmm.
It comes to destinations file, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, this is a path, ma'am.
Okay.
Now I will run it, ma'am.
Run it. Let's see.
Totally 8 files are moving, ma'am.
Okay.
It's moved on already. This is a destination file, ma'am.
Wow.
Source file is empty, ma'am. And now Google form, ma'am. This is these are the users, ma'am. Google form.
Okay.
Ma'am, here we are not having any response, ma'am.
Okay.
Now we will take the response from the.
Hmm.
This is a flow, ma'am.
Hmm.
So now taking the response, ma'am, from path, ma'am. Now you will come, ma'am. Here response is there, ma'am. Now.
Okay.
Yes. And PDF automation, ma'am. We have taken a PDF, ma'am.
Okay.
This is our PDF.
Hmm. It's extraction, right?
Okay. Ma'am, it will extract, ma'am.
Hmm.
It into a word, ma'am.
Okay.
this is a flow, ma'am, where we have taken a read PDF text, ma'am. After that, we have message box, ma'am. In message box, we have texted read PDF. In that sequence, we have added write text file. Here we have taken an empty file, ma'am.
Hmm.
We will get the output, ma'am.
Okay.
Already it taken a message in, ma'am.
Okay. Very nice.
Does that? PDF folder. This is a message, ma'am,
Hmm.
in the text form, ma'am.
Okay.
Using PDF OCR, ma'am,
Okay.
you have taken this image, ma'am. It will convert into a text form, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute.
Let's see.
Yeah, ma'am. 1 minute. This is a message, ma'am.
Okay.
Statement load, ma'am. Once again, I will do.
Okay.
This is text, ma'am.
Okay. Good.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I'll stop screen.
Okay. Very nice. This is which center? Which is the center?
Kavita Computers, ma'am.
Where it is?
Ma'am, Gulbarga.
Very nice. Very nicely done. And I'm impressed that you people have learned so much.
Yeah,
Even
ma'am.
I also learned. I didn't learn so many things, but you have. So please keep on progressing on that.
Yeah, ma'am.
Any other center wants to show something?
Ma'am.
And I'm just asking, is there any other center? Shrishti Infotech want to show something? They said yes. You can go ahead. Okay, Suman from Shrishti Infotech is ready. So can
Excuse
you
me.
just, yeah.
Ma'am, we have completed our synopsis also, ma'am.
When to share?
Synopsis of?
Uh, synopsis.
What synopsis you have completed? Project synopsis.
Yes, ma'am. Project synopsis, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have a day on project. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
ma'am.
will try to find out from the Harinakshi ma'am when is your, I will talk to her and find out when is your course ending. Before that, one day will be dedicated for project work itself.
Yeah,
Okay.
ma'am.
Amazing, Josh.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Anybody? Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, tell me, Sumant.
So we divided the problems with the 3 or 4 teams, ma'am. We tried all in your given questions, but we have completely finished 2, and other 3 are not supporting in our system, ma'am.
Okay, no issues. Whatever you could do, at least learning is important. Maybe you can find out what is the problem later in that.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. First, I am showing completed. So this is the first problem, web scraping, ma'am.
Okay.
Now it's opening from Chrome, ma'am.
Okay.
It's directly going to GitHub and searching for repositories.
Okay.
Like here it is finding Travis.
Hmm.
It is fetched and now it's finding Kotlin.
Okay.
Now it's finding for Golang.
Okay.
Now it's finished, ma'am. So this is the Excel sheet.
Okay.
Just a minute, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think there is some small issue. So until he fixes that, can I show the next one, ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead. You should not waste the time.
Sure. Suman, can you unshare? Suman, can you unshare, please?
Ma'am, it's completed. You can see that. Sometimes it makes some glitches, ma'am, in this UI path.
Okay.
Here is the result, ma'am.
Good. 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 I saw that it was showing it
Okay,
earlier.
next will be continued.
Hmm. Okay.
So next will be completed by
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So before starting with the project, I just created an Excel file.
Hmm.
Okay. You can see this, ma'am. I have created this data in the Excel sheet, and uh, this is the sequence. So in this first one, all the data in the first sheet that it gets copied and it will be pasted in the second sheet. So I will just run it and show you.
Hmm.
It's running in the background.
Okay.
So all the data is copied
Yeah.
from the first sheet and it will be pasted in the second sheet in the same file. So I have only selected the first two columns. So only two columns will be selected and pasted to the second sheet.
Very good. Very nice.
And now it's done. So it's the message box.
Hmm.
And we have created another one.
Hmm.
So where the data from one sheet of a one Excel file will be extracted and it will be pasted in another Excel file. So I have created another Excel file called Python 2.
Hmm.
So it's completely empty now. Running in the background. So data from the first file is copied and it is pasted to the second file. So we can see it. We can see this now. So all the data from the first file is extracted and copied to the second file.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Done.
Yes, ma'am. So there are some errors in the other one, ma'am. So we couldn't actually, it's not like,
No issues. You can run again. You can just try to find out what's the problem. Right? It's a learning phase only. Forgive me today for my voice. It's not good. Is there anyone, or should we go ahead with the session?
we can continue now. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Harinakshi ma'am. So I'm going to start my session. Okay. And okay. So today's session, as requested last time when I asked you people that, what you want me to conduct as a session and the next one, or what kind of topic I should cover. So I think Altaf sir told me that it would be better if we can talk about fintech. Though I'm a management professor, but accounts I know a little bit, investment also, all these little bit I have ideas or maybe, but I'm not such a big expert to talk about those kind of term. Maybe I know how it is working and what it is, but in order to teach those financial term, it's a little difficult. But then I try to gather my research on the fintech and the role of AI in the fintech. So I focused on that session today. Let me see if I can do justice to this. Okay. And I will also try to give some example. Wherever it is possible, I will take you to the sites and show you that what are the things which is happening in this industry and how it is progressing. Just give me a few seconds. Can you all see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the topic for today's session is artificial intelligence in fintech. So can you hear me? Am I too low in my, or is it like clear or not clear?
It's clear. You're clear, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just close my video because it's going to disturb the internet. So let's talk about the AI in terms of fintech. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, you know that artificial intelligence is actually creating a buzzword with every sector, whether it's a financial sector, it's a pharmaceutical, it's a service industry, it is the you say any industry, healthcare, or any kind of industry, even agriculture. Also, we spoke a lot about that. But when it comes to financial sectors, the financial sector around the world is trying to adopt and implement AI in its financial services capability. So, what AI is doing? So, AI and machine learning technologies are initially tried to help banks, business services to engage their potential customers. Okay. So, we might have gone to, all of us might have done net banking, or we have gone to the banking site on an online financial services site where we might have come across with a chat or a chat box, which is common in every particular thing, but the banks are going ahead and using robots in their physical offices also. Those are the few things which is initially the bank started doing with AI. But with the rise and the popularity of the messaging apps and the higher demand of the customers in banking, health, wellness, the chatbots are becoming very popular. People are feeling very comfortable. Initially, people were not comfortable, and I was not. I used to think, no, I have to speak to a person, to a human being. I can't speak to a machine or I can't speak to a program. And I always used to think that these chat box will have a kind of, pre-feeded answers, but it's not like that. So let's see some of these, statistics which tell us that, for example, in this particular statistic, which shows that the North America is the center of chatbot startup initially. The chatbot market actually account for the largest share in the market size. This is from, I have taken this data from all the research website where you get all kinds of research done by big companies. And the market size of the chatbot is 40.4%. That means the chatbot market supposed to amount for 454.8, if you see here, by 2027 $1 million revenue. So at present in 2018, the market was around $40.9 million. But by 2027, the chatbot demand will rise up and the revenue earned through chatbot will be 454.8. And I'm talking about the chatbot used on the financial sites, especially on the banking sites. Now, let's understand, how can AI help in financial technology? So before that, we should know what is fintech. Sorry. And how does it relate to artificial intelligence? And whenever it comes to fintech, people always keep on thinking about blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and all those kinds of terms. And all these terms are bringing disruption also in the financial field. So we are going to actually answer that. What is fintech? Also in this particular session, I'm also going to help you through not the software tool, but through Excel to understand how investment happen and how robo investment can convert that using AI. Okay, so that I can give you a financial model. What I understood from one of my favorite, professor and also a friend who works in IIM Bangalore, and so it's a Srinivas sir. And Srinivas sir, he was a person who made me interested in financial modeling. And I learned little bit. I'm not saying that I learned many things, but I learned something which I'm going to give example today in Excel and show you exactly that how this can be replicated with the help of programming, and ultimately the data set and the programming can work together and do wonders in the financial field. So you can also go ahead and use certain tools to build your own robo advising tools for making investment recommendation for the client. So what is fintech? Fintech means financial technologies, right? Fin means financial and tech means technology. It is one of the hottest area in the finance and technology at present. The term fintech doesn't have a very correct or accurate definition. In general, you can say it refers to varieties of area that are emerging in the finance, technology related to finance, and it is growing very rapidly. And this can include things like blockchain, robo advisors, automated investments, advisory services, online lending, crowdfunding, and number of other areas. So all these areas actually have the potential to disrupt the traditional finance. How computer, when it came in 1980s in India, it disrupted the manual process of the bank. Similarly, these fintech technologies like blockchain, 1 minute. Okay. So all these areas have a very big potential to disrupt the traditional finance. And fintech is having a tremendous impact on these financial landscapes. If you think today on any investment advisement from a person, you want to grow your money, see, keeping in the bank in the FD will not fetch you any kind of a growth in your money. It will be a very little and slow growth. And also, again, it is taxable. So you want a good growth of your money. You want a good gain. So many of the people and my students, most of my students from 8th standard, or maybe they were in the 6th or 7th standard, they started doing the trading. And today they have their own pocket money, or they go abroad, or they do whatever with their trading money. So that's why the trading of the stock and the post-trade settlement activities is somewhere the fintech or the technology related to finance is using widely. So fintech is actually changing the landscape of the finance. So when you think about blockchain, there is a potential to make a trade settlement much faster and cheaper. Then you have an online market lending. When the people, if you want to have a startup, you want to borrow money from somewhere. So the lending, online marketplace lending, which is one today, a lot of angel investors, a lot of VCs, so many people, things are available online. So how do you go about that? So bank is not the only option. So online marketplace lending is changing the way the people borrow money. And if you want to start your business, what are the kind of interest you have to give? What are the kind of interest? What you call the legal foundation you have. So now the issue is with this regulatory environment. The regulatory environment is in present. Why this is not becoming so popular is because of our regulatory environment. You remember I told you about the driverless car, and I said the Google is ready. They have tested for last 5-6 years. Tesla, Google, all of them are ready with the car. Or Amazon is ready with the drones delivery. Everything is there. But the problem is our regulatory system. The regulatory environment in India or anywhere else is built on human manual process or the human way of doing things, the traditional environment. So we need to change the human regulatory, and especially in finance, it is very, very important because finance is a very, very sensitive issue and very, very crucial data. So SEC rules were built around the system which has developed long time back. So that's true both in US or in India. Different regulators are there in the world which are taking different kinds of, approach. The approach for new and emerging financial technical issues. Like, for example, in India, at present, the Bitcoin's transactions are considered not very legal or not very valid transactions. Though people are doing it, but it is not considered as one of the valid or the lawful transactions. It's nothing illegal in this, but still the Indian government doesn't give the permission to do transactions using a Bitcoin, or it is not accepted widely because the regulatory system is not accepting or not ready for it. Okay, so the regulation is going to rebuild, and regulation is going to change to make this fintech area to accept this financial technology. So that's where the fintech challenges is coming in the fintech spaces. And when you're working as a professional, for you people, you will think yourself as technologist. So you will be working with new technology. You will not think about all those kinds of regulatory body, all kinds of the process which is still existing in many companies, and or maybe a client coming to you and want to use an emerging fintech space. So you're not bothered with the regulatory space because it's not your work. As a technologist, your work is to work and develop a particular system or a program or anything for your client using that technology. But at the same time, now the companies, the clients coming to those IT companies and asking them that, okay, I want to use a fintech technology, but at the same time, I want to take care of the regulatory body also. So it's not gone are those days when technologies used to think that, hey, I should not bother about anything else, just coding, or just use the technology platform and build something which will feed my client interest or need. But it's becoming more than that. So you need to have a knowledge about that. Okay. So there's a lot of disruptions which is happening. In reality, the fintechs is not a big deal. A lot of things is already existing. Though it is incremental in nature, incremental means slowly it is progressing. The reason people are so interested in the area of fintech like AI, blockchain, robotic process automation, which we did in the last few sessions, is that today, because this is going to be the future. And this is how today the countries are not ready for it, but tomorrow the country need to make themselves ready. And everybody knows this. So a firm like Ernst and Young have actually put a lot of studies. I was going through one of the study, and their study examines that whether they think that they say that this technology is bound to come. This technology is already ready. Only the thing is, it has to be implemented. The companies are ready. If the technologists are ready. So EI version, how the future will look like is that the future is going to be of artificial intelligence, blockchain, bitcoins. All these are going to, or the cloud technology, whatever it is, all these are going to override our regulatory system, will go to force our regulatory system and all the other kind of challenges what we are facing today for not able to adopt this fintech technology. So this is going to become a very important tools. The technologies may come, there will be integrated technologies, for example, like cloud through blockchain, various other kinds of integration may happen. The IoTs in the, the financial things will happen. So there are so many things which is going to get happen. Now we will talk about a very, very important term which I came across when I was doing research. I found there is a term called algorithm trading and finance. Okay, this is one of the biggest area where fintech is having a huge impact already. Already many companies have started algorithm training. You can find out on the net. There are a lot of companies. I may also give some example. And this is also evolving. This algorithm trading and finance is also evolving. Computer is making a bigger role in that. Algorithm trading is computer driven trading, what we can say, and now make up a large majority of trades across the world. And more than 90% of the order on the stock markets are computer driven now. You all know that. Some of you may be in trading. You might be going to Money Control or so many other sites, or you may be using a demat account. So the reality is that the old trope about a human being a stock picker and making those trades. Initially, the scenario was that there will be an advisor who will tell you what kind of stock you can have or mix of stock you can have in your portfolio to minimize the loss and maximize the gain. And when can you sell, even if the stock price of a particular stock in your portfolio has dropped, should you panic and sell it, or should you wait, watch, and keep the stock for some time and then sell it? Okay. So just a minute. So that's how the new trader, nowadays we don't go to traders. Everything is inbuilt in your demat, HDFC demat, or if you're using Zerodha, whatever you're using. The new trader is actually the computer. The role of human is now taken over by algorithm trading. Human play a role in trading by telling computer what to do. Ultimately, human has to play a role. So they basically play a role to tell computers what to look for and how to understand this market. So now algorithm trading is coming in two different flavor. Okay, so human has to play a role, as I said, in designing the algorithm. So algorithm, and in case if you have a little less understanding and you are interested, because finance is a field, and after marketing, finance is a very, or I think it's one of the most, it's the field where you have a lot of opportunities. If you want to work in a bank, if you want to come work in a fintech company. So if you're not able to understand all these terms, you may try to go and take a course on capital marketing, understanding the capital marketing in the, as a beginner course, if you wish to do that. Otherwise, it's okay. So when I'm talking about this, that human need to play a role. So algorithm trading essentially come into two forms. One is called market making and other is called the data mining. Okay. Market making trades attempt to capitalize on bid-ask spread. I'm sorry, I will be using these kinds of terms, which you may find, some of you may find that this is something which is not, we are IT people, why ma'am is talking about financial things, but these are the things which I have to teach, I have to tell you, but I can't actually explain all these kinds of things to you now, because then the session will never end. This typically is associated, I will tell you what is bid-ask or the market making trades. It is associated with a high frequency traders, things like that. So if you're not sure that what kind of stock you should buy, what the bid ask spread is, that it encourage you to check out your understanding of capital market. So basically, as I was telling you, that if you want to understand these terms, go through this very beginner course on understanding capital market. It is available everywhere in the YouTube or any of the courses, you can learn through that. So other type of the trading which I found that it is interesting in algorithm trading is the pattern and the data, which is called data mining, right, in algorithm trading. So what we are essentially doing is we are looking at a pattern in the stock price and trying to capitalize on those. So we might look at a correlation between different stocks or correlation between a stock price and outside economic data or variety of other data source we get on our hand. Like one example I can give you is, you all know that recently we were very proud and the entire internet was actually buzzing around, and we with the news that Rishi Sunak, the son-in-law of the Infosys founder, Narayan Murthy, has become the UK Prime Minister. Why I brought this concept here is to make you understand a little bit about this world, that how everything, there are so many factors which influence the stock trading. Initially, before Rishi Sunak, right? There's a lady, I don't remember, I'll just find out her name. So this lady was her name was Liz Truss, I just found on the net. Liz Truss just served for a few months as a prime minister, I think 1 or 2 or 3 months. What has happened during those months? Unlike in India, in UK, the prime ministers are legally bonded and morally bonded. Whatever is their political agenda, they are answerable. They have to fulfill that within a timeline which they have stated. One mistake what Liz Truss has done, that she actually reduced the tax for a certain rich segment of people. Now, how does it has impacted the economy? It will impact because obviously the source of revenue for the government is tax. And the government has not got tax, benefit. Apart from that, lot of other things she did. But the major mistake what she did was that she reduced the tax for the rich people in UK, and that has had an impact as a factor of impact on the trading market in UK. And the stock market has shaken because of that. And the entire economy started shaking. And UK didn't know how to handle. Rishi Sunak has one advantage, that he used to be the finance minister sometime back in UK. So he has a knowledge. Let's see how he's going to do. So I was just telling you that there's a lot of correlation between stock price. You might have heard the word of insider jobs or insider trading, which is now illegal now in India. But at one time, if you might have seen some kind of a scam and all in that, you might have found that word. So there are a lot of outside economical data which also have an impact on stock price. So you have to get those varieties of data from the source and make the algorithm trading work. The algorithm trading will not work without those data. So the nice thing about the algorithm trading is that more data we feed into the computer, the more opportunities and more accurate it is to tell you the investment opportunities and the risk assessment. So the trading is really one of the key applications of artificial intelligence. AI is very good at taking massive amount of data, looking for a pattern, and then making the suggestion. So we'll take a case here. Let's take a case that Mukesh is a trader. He used to do trading 15 years ago when the trading was based on human expertise advice, the stock trader advice, let's say in India. And when he tried to restart his active trading after 15 years, Mukesh found that the stock trading world is entirely different now because of a lot of change in technology. So he has a friend who is a very successful trader called Manoj. So he went to him and he said, I will have to admit that stock trading has gone through a lot of change and it's very new for me. I'm not able to understand how to start and I really want to invest. So he also said that I've been hearing about algorithm trading in India. And so what is it? Okay. You can actually go and read a lot of things in investopedia.com. So you can read about algorithm trading in investopedia.com also. So like several other sectors, computers have also started to play an important role in this. So algorithm trading is algo trading. This is a expertise, same human expertise fed with the data from everywhere and is more accurate or can do forecasting better than human being. So that's where the algorithm trading is coming. So it's an automated trading. It's like a black box trading. It's also called algo trading. So it uses a computer program which follow a defined set of instructions or algorithm to place a trade, to generate profit from the trade, just like as human expert trader can do. So a defined set of instructions are based on timing, various factors, timing, price, quantity, mathematical model. One of my student who was an expert in trading, and one day I was talking to him long time back, and he told, ma'am, I want to write a research paper on a particular topic. I said, what will be the topic? He said, stock trading. I said, what is new in this? He said, ma'am, I want to write about the effect of moon, the full moon and the black moon on stock trading. I started laughing. I said, what are you speaking? How can a moon, full moon or, black moon, all these things can get it? Then he started explaining me different things and I understood. And he wrote a research paper and we could publish it. So this is how there are so many, many things which actually impact stock trading. So the profit opportunity for the trader, the algo trader renders market, how to have an impact on these kinds of things. For example, you buy a 50 shares of a stock from a company. Let's say you feel that, oh, Tata is good because Tata is, I have heard Tata, Reliance, they are very, very big company. Let me buy it. I will buy TCS or I will buy Tata stock. You buy 50 shares of Tata stocks. And when it is 50-day moving, the average goes, and you check every day on your demat account, it goes above the 200-day moving average. Moving average is an average of past data point that smooth out day-to-day price fluctuation and identify the trend. So your demat, Zerodha and all these, I have HDFC demat account. It will show you the trend. It will show you the forecasting. Every day it will show you loss and gain, what is the current price and all those. But apart from that, it gives you suggestion. It will tell you that which is the time, which is a perfect time for you to sell or hold those stocks for you, right? To sell shares of the stock when the 50-day, suppose some people have this formula 50-day moving average. Sometime it can goes to 200 days moving average also. Using this two simple instruction, let's say if you have kept 50 days moving average or 20 days, as I told you just now, that moving average is an average of past data point that smooth out day-to-day price fluctuation and it identify the trend. So these two simple instructions, a computer program will automatically monitor the stock price and the moving average indicator and place the buy and sell order when a defined conditions are met. So the trader no longer need to monitor the live prices, the graph, and many, many things. What used to happen initially is that the trader has to go through a lot of information. He need to know about the company status, what the company has done. Like, for example, everybody says, oh, Adani is really doing good. They are now better than Reliance. Adanis are the richest people. We'll read in the newspaper. Let's buy the stock of Adanis. But we don't know what is. So in order to do a better investment, we should also know that, okay, Adani has these debt. Adani has these scams. Adani has these kinds of things also. So because of that, there can be a problem. Paytm, so many companies last year opened their IPO, initial public offering. But Paytm, everybody started buying. Oh, Paytm is so big, it's so successful. Everybody is using Paytm. I also buy. And within 100 days, it's crashed. So I'm not saying that 100% and 100% time these investment or these algorithms will be giving a right prediction, but most of the time it will give you the right prediction. Okay, so let's move into one of the category of fintech. So fintech talk about more about blockchain. Whenever we think about fintech, we always think about blockchain. So what is a blockchain? Well, the answer is that blockchain is a 21st century version of a very old tool. I don't know how many of you know about it. It's called ledger book, right? We used to have a ledger book where they have to maintain the record, So if you ever had those kinds of old accounting style ledger book where you went through and you wrote one transaction, one item on each line, and you filled up the page for bookkeeping purpose, and then you flip the page, okay, and you knew that what is in the last page continued in the next page. So you knew what is there in the previous page of this. So it is very easy for you to locate the informations available on this ledger book with so many thousands and thousands of pages. So what blockchain does? blockchain fulfill essentially the same functions. The blockchain is nothing but a distributed ledger technology. It's an online database that particularly used for cryptocurrency transaction like bitcoins. Whenever we think about blockchain, we think about cryptocurrency. I will be giving you today a work. I'm not going to ask you anything on that, but I want you people to go and read about that. And that's something which is very interesting, and you might be interested, like the impact of blockchain on social media networking. Whenever blockchain comes, we always think of finance, we always think of bitcoins. But blockchain in social networking, social media networking, read something about that and do research. So hence the name, the database store digital information in block. Why it is called blockchain? Understand. The database stores digital information in block and in chronological orders. Once a block is full, example I can show you, just a minute. Okay, now you see here. So the information is recorded in one of the block, right? Digital information, and it will be in the chronological order, 1, 2, 3, 4, like. So the first information, the first block will be full. And then the next information will go to the next block. Once this entire block is full with all kind of digital information, the block will create a new block and chain it. Okay. And this block is full, it is linked and locked to the rest of the full block in the database. So every block, when it is full, will create a new block and will chain it with the previous block, and the previous block will be fully linked in a chronological order, and also it will be locked. So what happens now if you make a change in one particular block? Let's say you're in the second block. It will get reflected in all the block because it is chained. So it's very difficult, firstly, to make any changes in this information. So every time a block is full or every time a block is created, empty block is added at the end of the chain to record new information. So blockchain is a distributed, secure log file. What that means is that we got many people that can access this ledger book, and the ledger book is protected by a super secure username and password. And it contains a complete record of every transaction that is ever recorded on the blockchain. So now blockchain was first popularized as a kind behind the scene tool for Bitcoins, right? But the reality is that these days it's gone beyond that Bitcoins. Blockchain underlies virtually every digital currency which is out there, whatever Libra or whatever you people are using, Litecoin, Ethereum, Ripple, etc., all those kinds which is available in the market. But you don't have to actually interested in digital currency to understand the blockchain. Even if you think that Bitcoin as an example is very apt for blockchain, it is good. It is potentially useful for that. Mainly purpose is that only. But because blockchain enable any sort of asset transfer, not necessarily only Bitcoins. For example, if you're buying a house, as an example, let's say, and you have to go through and do things like little search, you will search the house, the location, do the survey. You will also find out a house shout list, find out who's the owner of the house or who's the builder, everything else. All these kind of research you are going to do. The process of finalizing on a house will take months. Blockchain can speed up that process. Essentially, any asset transfer, suppose is, for example, you finalized a house and you know the homeowner. Now you have to go do the legal formation, legal formalities. You have to do the legal formality of doing registration in your name, doing so many things. It will again take months. So what blockchain does it can transfer the asset from a electrical grid to stock to bond trading, everything. So it's not only for Bitcoins. It can be for stock, it can be for bond trading, it can be for electrical. It can be for any asset transfer. So blockchain in essence is similar to something like Wikipedia. And blockchain has that kind of a characteristic of Wikipedia where people can write entries into blockchain systems and a community of user can control how that information is amended and updated. Blockchain just automate all the thing and it make it easier, faster, simpler. While the process of keeping track of asset isn't very unique to a particular economy, everybody is actually extremely worried about that. But then it is what I have understood is that blockchain will be a very secure. Any information stored, digital transaction information, financial transaction information stored in the blockchain, very difficult to change. If you make change, it is going to change the entire chain which is linked to each other, and it is easily found that there is a change made by whom. So that's one thing. Okay, so I will just show you how it works. Let's see a video on this.
Blockchains are incredibly popular nowadays. But what is a blockchain? How do they work? What problems do they solve? And how can they be used? Like the name indicates, a blockchain is a chain of blocks that contains information. This technique was originally described in 1991 by a group of researchers and was originally intended to timestamp digital documents so that it's not possible to backdate them or to tamper with them, almost like a notary. However, it went by mostly unused until it was adapted by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 to create the digital cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Now, a blockchain is a distributed ledger that is completely open to anyone. They have an interesting property. Once some data has been recorded inside the blockchain, it becomes very difficult to change it. So how does that work? Well, let's take a closer look at a block. Each block contains some data, the hash of the block, and the hash of the previous block. The data that is stored inside the block depends on the type of blockchain. The Bitcoin blockchain, for example, stores the details about a transaction in here, such as the sender, receiver, and the amount of coins. A block also has a hash. You can compare a hash to a fingerprint. It identifies a block and all of its contents, and it's always unique, just as a fingerprint. Once a block is created, its hash is being calculated. Changing something inside the block will cause the hash to change. So in other words, hashes are very useful when you want to detect changes to blocks. If the fingerprint of a block changes, it no longer is the same block. The third element inside each block is the hash of the previous block. And this effectively creates a chain of blocks, and it's this technique that makes a blockchain so secure. Let's take an example. Here we have a chain of 3 blocks. As you can see, each block has a hash and the hash of the previous block. So block number 3 points to block number 2, and number 2 points to number 1. Now the first block is a bit special. It cannot point to previous blocks because, well, it's the first one. We call this block the Genesis block. Now, let's say that you tamper with the second block. This causes the hash of the block to change as well. In turn, that will make block 3 and all following blocks invalid because they no longer store a valid hash of the previous block. So changing a single block will make all following blocks invalid. But using hashes is not enough to prevent tampering. Computers these days are very fast and can calculate hundreds of thousands of hashes per second. You could effectively tamper with a block and recalculate all the hashes of other blocks to make your blockchain valid again. So to mitigate this, blockchains have something that is called proof of work. It's a mechanism that slows down the creation of new blocks. In Bitcoin's case, it takes about 10 minutes to calculate the required proof of work and add a new block to the chain. This mechanism makes it very hard to tamper with the blocks because if you tamper with one block, you'll need to recalculate the proof of work for all the following blocks. So the security of a blockchain comes from its creative use of hashing and the proof of work mechanism. But there is one more way that blockchains secure themselves, and that is by being distributed. Instead of using a central entity to manage the chain, blockchains use a peer-to-peer network and everyone.
Sorry. So let's understand now that how can AI, how AI can add on to the blockchain. So the integration of AI in the blockchain can create the world's most reliable technology enabled decision making system that can be virtually tamper proof. Like now we were saying that how do we, if we make a change in one of the block, the hash of the previous block, the every block contain the hash address of the previous block, that doesn't change, and then it makes the other blocks inaccessible, and like you can easily find out that there is a modification of data which is done. So intelligent predictive analysis is something where the AI helps in blockchain. It can, so we can also find out from some of, I have actually taken some of the example of some projects which can make us understand about how this black AI is used in blockchain. So these are some 5 AI blockchain project. So I'm going to give you some example. Though you can go through all these example, but I will give you these example of Singularity Net and Deep Brain Chain. So when you're talking about Singularity Net comes at, it uses basically it's a company which uses the AI based blockchain solution in recent time. So have you heard about Sophia? All of you might have heard about the AI humanoid robot who
Yes,
has
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
received the citizenship of Saudi Arabia. The team behind developing the Sophia has developed this particular thing called Singularity Net. I'll show you the website. And the objective of the team behind Singularity Net has to capitalize on the power of both AI as well as the blockchain. So Singularity Net is one of the top AI blockchain project, which helps in creation of decentralized AI market. The marketplace, which can help in creation and financing of AI projects. They are basically into that because they are the company which is very good in this. Most important of all is that Singularity Net has developed for serving the role of global network for AI algorithm. You all should go through this. I will also show you this. Many people also have a doubt about how this AI is used in blockchain. So when you go to singularity.net, you'll find a lot of cases. You will Singularity Net services also focus on 3 areas like cybersecurity, cloud robotics, biomedical research. You can see that on the site. You can read about their cases when you're going for an interview. Read about that. Marketplace will help you. It also help you in creating your AI projects if you want to do that. So CIA Singularity Net is one of the topmost I found in AI blockchain project, and it can reduce the gap. So I'll just show you that. But before that, let me take you through the other site, and then I'll show you both.
With Singularity Net begins the greatest age of progress and exploration in the history of artificial intelligence. We can put together many pieces of smart AI technology into super systems, increasing complexity and stability. It provides a framework for safety and transparency in artificial intelligence while providing privacy for people's personal data.
Right now, there's no platform anywhere in the world that is specifically designed to make it easy for different AIs to communicate with each other, to share data with each other, to make requests of each other, to compensate each other for their work, to rate each other as to how well they did different things.
Sophia is a good platform for bringing together the technologies of artificial intelligence, using Singularity Net as a kind of networking protocol.
You know what, we can try this. The AI code is there, free and open source on the internet right now. It's just hard to find and hard to use. So Singularity Net can complete that connection between AI developers and AI users.
If we achieve Singularity Net, the way that we have portrayed it, the way that we have envisioned it, the way that we've engineered it, it will become the single most valuable technology in all of history. This is the chance for us to change the world together. We need participants. We need you, your time, your mind, to make this happen. Work with us to realize the beauty and power of singularity.
Okay, I'll show you the website. First, let me talk about Deep Brain. This is also a very interesting project I saw on the net. Deep Brain Chain is again a it's a best AI blockchain project. The Deep Brain project is basically a decentralized AI computing platform, which has a good cost efficiency and privacy safeguard. It leverage blockchain technology and serve the function of neural network. So Deep Brain, as the name suggested, it's more a neural network. So Deep Brain Chain is the preferred source for decentralized cloud computing network to support AI development. So the developer of Deep Brain have suggested that the project focus on switching from existing NEP5 chain and bringing the blockchain governance. So Deep Brain can actually serve various kinds of functions, especially the highly secure data trading between two projects. So let us see this also.
Deep Brain Chain, DBC, a distributed high-performance computing infrastructure positioned in the 5G and AI era, serves many scenarios requiring high-performance compute power, mainly GPU, such as artificial intelligence, cloud gaming, blockchain, biopharmaceutical, visual rendering, etc. As a veteran blockchain project established in 2017, Deep Brain Chain mainnet is developed based on Polka substrate, which has started public tests in March 2021 and is expected to be officially launched in May 2021. The mainnet of DBC, being based on Polka, will further improve the layout of the Polka ecosystem in the field of computing power and become the only cloud computing project of the Polka ecosystem to achieve a large-scale landing. And DBC will also be on the decentralized exchange in the Polka ecosystem in the future, and work closely with many Polka ecosystem projects. Up to now, nearly 50 partners have deployed high-performance cloud platforms based on the DBC network, serving hundreds of enterprises and tens of thousands of AI developers. DBC is committed to becoming the most important computer power infrastructure in the new era, serving hundreds of industries.
Okay. So I'll just show you the site. Okay. I recommend that each one of you please go through the sites. So this is Deep Brain, which I'm sharing now. You can see here, there are a lot of research paper. This is a kind of project, what kind of projects they have. You can see here, Deep Brain history. In the GitHubs also, they have a lot of information available. Most of the companies are actually working with them. Then I will also show you. Okay, fine. So the other one is not opened up. So let's go and understand some of the practical. Till now, I was just talking about, very theoretical concepts. But let's see how does it work, right? Okay.
Deep Brain.
Fine. So Bitcoins, again, I'll not elaborate more. You all know that it's a digital currency. It's a peer-to-peer digital currency. You might have heard about that. And it is a nothing but Bitcoin, if you want to define that in terms of technology. It's a series of letters and numbers on computer screen. It's not a normal money, which you normally feel very good about it having in the hand. So that's not very normal. A series of letter and computer screen value, how can it give a value of a money. So you can think about a green piece of a paper whenever you take out a money and you see Mahatma Gandhi photo on that, and not sorry, red color. And then you can say, oh, yeah, this is what money looks like. So Bitcoin is nothing like that. It doesn't give you that kind of satisfaction. It's just a series of letters and numbers in the corner, which tells you that it's a valid tender, can be used for any financial transactions. And the value of Bitcoin is solely driven by the acceptance from the community of users. So Bitcoin comes built in with an accounting system called blockchain, which record all the transaction that occurs in the blockchain automatically. So Bitcoin also comes with its own set of auditors and accountants. And you call this guys as miners. And a lot of people actually think the purpose of miner is to just generate a new Bitcoin. I had one student, and I don't know how he did, but he said that, ma'am, you need very good performing computers and you can develop, and he has developed the Bitcoin. I don't know how. So it's not the purpose for most, but the purpose of miner is to make sure that the system was working as intended. And there is no counterfeiting of the coins. So Bitcoin is limited to a cap of about 21 million coins over a time. So Bitcoin is built around three parts of the blockchain. What you call the private key cryptography, which protect the access of the user to the Bitcoin account, the distributed account, which records all the Bitcoin transactions, and the mining. The mining, as I said, that which is dealing with the auditing of these transactions. Bitcoin is deflationary. As the number of the user goes, deflation means that if the number of the user, number of the people grow, or the expenses grow, the number of Bitcoin only grow at a very, very slower and slower pace as number of people are using it. More the number of people using it, less number of Bitcoins will be produced. That's how it works. So Bitcoin is divisible out to 8 decimal places, which further then the 2 decimal places associated as according to US dollar. The other attractive feature about Bitcoin, what I found, is that there is no minimal transaction fees. Anybody can transact over Bitcoin blockchain at a very little cost. And because there is no central authority behind it, like in India, we have RBI. So Bitcoin is a consensus driven. And the downside of Bitcoin is again that there is, as I said, there is no central authority, which means that if somebody steals your Bitcoin or cheat you on the same fashion, you cannot apply. And you can say, oh, somebody stole my Bitcoin. Now, how do I get it? Right. So that's again something which is, kind of a disadvantage also. And government also can't help you. Nobody can force the reversal of the Bitcoin transaction. Like in the bank, you go and say it's a fraudulent, sometimes the bank give you the money. Uber, Ola is some fraudulent transaction, they give you back the money. So, but here it will not happen like that. So there are transaction fees which is associated with Bitcoin, but they are kind of tips. And these transaction fees get paid out to the Bitcoin miners. They are really a form of income in the excess of mine coin. So those fees are voluntary. You don't have to pay the fees, but of course, if you go into a bar, the bartender does not have to serve you, right? They could serve everybody else in the bar ahead of you, but you pay a tip to the person and you get the attention of the bartender. Similarly, you pay a transaction fee in order to get miner to review your transaction, the miner who is going to audit your transaction. So that's a crux of Bitcoin system. Mining goes down over the time, transaction fees ramp up, the auditor who are running, they keep on running the system. The idea is Bitcoin over the time is supposed to become very large, very big. The number of community of users going to become very big. It will have self-sustaining. Recently, the last, I think in 2018 or 17, I don't remember, Facebook also launched the Bitcoin Libra. It's a non-profit organization in Switzerland, based in Switzerland. So it's going to grow up. Okay.
Bitcoin has been one of the most talked about investments over the past couple of years.
Okay, I'll just omit this and I will go to the main portion of this session, which is called the new world of online investing. You have heard about robo-advising. So what is it? In nutshell, robo-advising is just using automated and digital technique for going through and build and manage a portfolio of the investors. When you're doing a stock trading, in a particular stock, you will not have only one company. You will not buy only Adani stock and keep. You'll buy different company, Adani, Tata. Sometimes you buy, if it is allowed, you will buy international company stocks or US stocks and keep it. So this is done with what we are called exchange trade fund, ETF. Okay. If you're not familiar with ETF, then as I have already written in the slide that you can go through a course called Understanding Capital Market. Those people who are aiming to work with the financial clients, because financial clients, if you work in an IT company and you get bank and all those people, so they will ask you, and you are supposed to know all these kinds of things. So you can recommend, I will recommend a capital marketing course. You can do that. Very easy for you people to understand. So essentially what robo-advisor does mechanically is like, it is fairly simple. They provide the client with a survey that assess the client need, their risk tolerance. They profile them in order to generate and give them advice on which stock to buy, when to sell, and how much, what kind of stocks or bond or whatever they want to buy. So once the asset allocation is implemented, the portfolio get monitored. They not only allow them to buy or allocate an asset, but they also monitor the performance over the time based on the client need. They also have to study the client need first. That what does the client want? Short-term gain, long-term gain, or what kind of situation, what is the age, a lot of factors are there. So it get rebalanced in an asset value change. The client get reports on the status at various points in time. So now robo-advising has actually picked up a tremendous degree of momentum in the recent year. So the reality is that at an entry level, the investment vehicles which we are using these days sometimes have a low return also. And the low return investment vehicles are what? Like your saving account, your FDs, right? RDs, all these are low investment vehicles. So people want to earn more. And if you want to earn more, they basically go for the stock trading. And robo-advising are helping the millennials go in a very low cost advising fees to invest in the market and know better about the stock market and break from the traditional brokerage relationship, where in India still we go to a broker or still we hire a investment banker, and we ask them and we pay them a hefty fees, and whatever they say we just do that. So robo-advice fills that void for millennials, where the millennial doesn't want robo-advisors or somebody to help them, and help the beginners also at the beginning level to invest and do something right about their investments.
By now, you've probably heard about robo-advisors or seen their commercials on TV. They're not really robots. They're software platforms that manage your investments powered by algorithms, but made by humans, really smart humans. Accounts managed by robo-advisors require less money to start and offer lower cost investment products. They customize your portfolios by examining your personal data and your investment goals. Online investment advice was born in the late 1990s, but robo-advisors really sprung on the scene in 2010, a couple of years after the 2008 recession. There are now more than 200 of them, managing over $70 billion. That may sound impressive, but it's not a lot considering the $32 trillion of investable assets currently in the United States. But time is on robo-advisors' side, and it's all thanks to demographics. Baby boomers and their parents, the silent generation, currently make up about 1/3 of the US population. However, they control about 83% of US net wealth. These generations have mostly relied on human investing professionals and financial advisors to help them decide what to do with all that money. But the financial advisory business is facing a transformational change. You see, those 83 million boomers and older folks who control so much wealth, they'll peak as the wealthiest demographic in the next 15 years. Generation X will become the wealthiest demographic, amassing $37 trillion by 2030. Millennials will have about $20 trillion by then. But these younger generations may be less likely to use financial advisors and invest like their parents and grandparents. A lot of them lost trust in the financial system after the 2008 recession, and many don't see why they should pay another person to manage their money when technology can do it cheaper and with more accuracy. That's a real threat to human financial advisors who are already facing their clients getting older with younger generations less inclined to hire them. In fact, 66% of children fire their parents' financial advisor after they receive an inheritance. Now, big investing firms have seen this coming, so they've been busy building or buying their own robo-advisor platforms, trying to catch this growing wave of younger digital investors. Studies say the robo-advisor, or the digital advice market as they call it, will swell to $500 billion by 2020. And traditional investing firms like Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard, they'll control 2/3 of all assets in that market, a huge chunk. Currently, the typical customer is between 35 and 45 years old and has an average account balance between $20,000 and $100,000. That's a lot less money than financial advisors are used to managing. So, is there still a place for people in a digital advisor world? Well, probably, if they learn to use robo-technology as part of their services. You see, robo-advisors have yet to experience a true bear market. They haven't had panic clients watch their savings and investments circle the drain. That day will come, it always does, and the need for a real person with expertise on the other end of the phone will be there. But who or what will be on the other end of that line is the multi-trillion-dollar question facing investors, advisors, and money management companies around the world.
Okay. So what I tried to do is, I was actually trying to do an exercise, which I will pass on to Harinakshi ma'am. You people can go through that. There are a few exercise files on Excel, which we have done the financial modeling, and which will help you in understand how and what robo-advising is actually and how does it work. Okay. So I have created a robo-advisor on Excel because that's what I know better. So let's go through it and see how this process works. So what I have done is this is not me alone who have done. Actually, one of the professor in Bangalore who was explaining us this financial modeling and the investment thing. And that time I took the example from there. So how, if you want, I can just share this with you only if you want. If you're not wanting it, then I will not share. So robo-advisor, basically, so there are simple questions here, which I will show you now in the Excel file once I go through that, but let me first explain you the scenario. So these simple Excel questions, there's an Excel sheet which we will have, which you will see a lot of questions are there, and that questions is given to the client, and the client answer those questions. And from that questions or from the answers what the client gave and the data what we took, the robo-advisor will generate a portfolio based on those responses. And we will just assume a hypothetical situation like that, right? So particularly what we'll do is we will fill out, and I will take certain data. Let's say, for example, a person, a client who comes to us who is a 35-year-old person who is now well settled in his career, and he want to do something, in trading, and he has no idea. So we will be asking him few questions. First question, we have to definitely ask him about his age. And then the second question, we will be asking about that, that what is this, and we have to understand. We can't directly ask that what is your risk tolerance level, but we have to understand from the client that what is the risk tolerance level of that particular customer. Is he ready to lose a lot of money in short time, or is he looking for a short time gain or a long time, all those kinds. If the portfolio stock that the investor has invested in last, half, has it lost it previously? Did he panic when he did the trading last time? Will he sell the stock if he hear about the stock price, the stock in the portfolio which he has brought has incurred a lot of loss? What will he do? So all those kinds of questions we are going to ask, and we are going to take that. Also, we may ask the person also about international stock. So many diversification, so many things I will put you in that. I will show you the Excel file. And depending on what kind of answer the person particular has given, we will look into the portfolio and we will analyze that. We will do the forecasting first, and same thing the robo advisor will also do. So let's see that first. Just give me a few seconds, I'll open the Excel file. Just give me a few seconds. I'm opening the Excel file. Just give me a few seconds. This Mac sometimes doesn't open the Excel file as you want. Just let me try again. It's opening only half. I don't know for what reason. Let's see. Can you see? Can anyone tell me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can see the Excel file? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In my screen, it is just appearing half only. I don't know for what purpose.
Yeah, it's half only, ma'am.
It's showing
Only
half
4
only.
points.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I don't know. Trying to do something, but it's not going full. Anyway, you're able to see, right? I just scrolled.
Yeah, till 4th point it is visible, ma'am.
Okay, I'll share this file with you if you wish to. Okay, then
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
share these Excel file with you. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so as I was telling you that I have just made a financial model in the kind of a Excel sheet robo advisor, and where we have asked certain questions like, what is the individual age? I've already fed that. It is 35, let's say. And the second question, it says that we want to know something about the risk tolerance here, as I told. If the portfolio stock that the investor has invested in the previously has lost half its value, what will the individual do? For example, if the portfolio stock will lose the value over the next 12 months. So there are certain options which are given to the person, client: sell remaining portfolio and move to the cash, sell some assets and hold the rest, do nothing and wait it out, buy more assets, buy everything you can, and look for the ways to buy more. Let's say all these kinds of things we have put, and so we will put C here. Maybe the person which we are dealing with has a middle spectrum of risk tolerance, so we will use C as an option: do nothing and wait out. Then, do you want to invest? The third question says, now, do they want to now invest in international stock in addition, like for example US stock? And do you want to diversification? You prefer remaining with the US stock or not? So all those kinds, let's say the person has a moderate answer for that, and we put M here. And do you also want to include the corporate bond? So if the person says, okay, fine, how about the corporate bond and the level of diversification in that, if he is interested, for example, in that, let's go ahead and we will put yes in that. Let's say the client say yes, he's interested in that. And then next we are going to ask about behavioral finance phenomena, like for example, which is called a factor tilt. So we are particularly looking at a small cap stocks and deep value stock here. So these stocks are riskier in general, but have a higher returns. So do we want to tilt toward those? So we'll go ahead and we'll say yes. He want to go ahead and he want to can tilt on those kinds of deep value stocks or small cap stocks, right? Then let us say an aggressive tilt next up, like how about do you want any real estate in the portfolio, right? So if he says yes, then we can put that. Are you able to see the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Bond is coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Then the next thing which comes out is that deep, this one also I told you, do you want to tilt towards small value, slight or moderate, let's say, we can put it aggressive in that way. Let's say the client says that, do you want to include a real stock called REIT? Okay, that's, these are all the terms which is used. You can just go and do some courses on this. So this can provide a diversification, but also have a negative tax consequences, because you have to tell all these kinds of things to the person, because see, when negative tax consequences, because it will generate a lot of income. So you can go ahead and say that investor is interested in that, and you put yes. Then next up, we want to know how much the investor has to invest in the market. That's very important, how much is ready to invest. Let's say that, because when I started investing, I started with, I was very, because we are all working people, so we don't have that characteristic of taking risks. So I invested with 2,500. Today I'm doing good. One of my friend invested in around some 9 lakhs, and she's, every day she forces me, and she said, put this, why are you keeping money in the bank, put in the stock. But I can't take that risk. So you have to actually find out the investor how much they money want to invest. Let's say we put around $50,000, right? Let's say like that. And the investor is going to save money every year to put toward this particular portfolio. So every year he's going to put this amount in the portfolio. So the portfolio contribution annually, how much the investor is going to save additionally, apart from this, is 10,000 going forward. Next is for the forecasting purpose. We want to ask about the investor expectation about the market in the future. Now, stocks have actually historically returned about 10.5% since 1928. So do we want to use that return as an ever expectation for the future? Or do we think that return will be higher than that or lower than that? So what's our gut feeling on the economy? Okay. So that is something which we will ask the client. And let's say that maybe we feel like economy is a little bit of tough shape right now. So we foresee a lower return going forward. Let's say this is what the client has said, and we put lower return. Then how long until we retire? How long do we have to, before we went to want this asset, or we want to go ahead with this? So let's say he says 30 years, and we put that. And now we go through and we will fill out all these questionnaires. I will just scroll this up again. Let me just go and top. Okay. And this is not my exercise. Okay. This is an exercise which is given to me by one of the professor. But I thought I will use this for this purpose. Right. So now let's just see what recommendation portfolio based on this responses is. If you come over the recommendation portfolio tab, I will just go to the recommendation. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am. It's only showing half of the pie chart.
1 minute.
It's better now.
It's better now?
Yes.
I'm trying a lot, but I don't know what has happened. My, this Mac screen is broken. Because of that, one particular part is blackout. It's not going toward that. It's showing here, but not on the screen. Okay, anyway, so you can see now. So this is a recommended portfolio tab. This file, I can share it with you. You'll see the robo advisor has now gone through it, all the responses, and put an allocation. It thinks it have for each variety of different ETFs, and which we can use in our portfolio, SPY, VBR, and all this. And it's told us now how much to allocate initially to each of this as well. If you see here, tickers, I don't know how many of you know about tickers and all. You can just go through and find out tickers. So these are US stocks, the allocation, how much has to be done from that amount, which investor has invested, $250,000. So out of that, how much to allocate to each of these put in the ETF or in the portfolio. So it has allocated annually also the contribution to each. See here. So now, when you how much to allocate initially to each of this, as well as what is our annual contribution to each category should be. Moreover, also it is going to tell us that what we think we'll have in the portfolio in the 10 years, if you see here. Right? You can see here. So we've just put some formulas here. And it will also tell about in 30 years time. So you can see that. So what we can see is we are forecasting quite a hefty return over the next 30 years or not. Isn't it, Altaf, sir? So based on this annual portfolio return of 11% per year, we are expected to have almost $8 million when we get all done. So this is a basic robo-advisor. What this is exactly the same kind of the tool which we are using actually in case of when we are developing with AI some fintech solution. So it almost the defined set will be this, because you have to ultimately put some defined sets. And slight difference here and there will come. So I'm just trying to show it to you with the help of the Excel. Okay. So now let's move to the second part here. Again, I will take one more example and show you. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, there's one more part which is left. Let me open one more Excel file. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, I've opened the Excel file. I'll share it. Can you all see now?
Yes, clearly visible.
Okay. So this is how the robo-advisor work. We already know that basically we need to get data, and it's a survey-based approach to access what the portfolio should be for a particular investor, and how that analysis is done. So now we have gone through all these things. Hypothetically, we have created one investor and we got some set of response, and how the portfolio will look like in 10 years or 30 years, what can be the gain and loss. That also we have seen for a particular investor, which is pretty good set of investment option, basically from the US stock or a small value with large and momentum in the international stock bond or whatever it is. So now let's answer and see something in the what is written in the portfolio calculator tab. So when we come across the portfolio calculator tab, let's see how this process works. So we have taken investor answers from the questionnaires on the first page. You have seen that, I've shown you that. And then we are going to translate them into the numerical content. If you see here, can you see this all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for example, this is the answer which the person has given, right? It's not showing fully. 1 minute. No, this is not the one. Yeah. So this is the response which we have taken. Can you see this? So the response which we took was the age is 35, risk. All these were the response which I showed you, right? Portfolio 2,50,000 and all. And then we translate that into a numerical value. Okay. We translate into numerical value just to make it very little bit easier for the system to process. From there, we need to go through and we need to determine what the asset allocation should be for a particular investors. So that's all going to be based on the parameter that we set in the background of the system, right? So let's just take age as one example. Our investor age, we have taken 35-year-old. So we have an age adjustment factor here. If you can see here, this is the age adjustment factor. Now, if you see age adjustment factor, if you see, we have given this formula. If the age is less than 25, or then it is 1. And if the age is less between, 25 or 30, 25 to 40, then it is 2. Like this, we have created the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1 means that the person whose age is equivalent to or less than 25. And 2 is our investor age, which is 35. So we have an age adjustment factor. Now, most of the financial advisor would tell you that as you get older, this is what in my college also, when some of them come and they take and I also ask them, they say that, oh, you're getting older, you have to have more bonds and less in stocks. Okay. So in the essence, our parameters for age adjustment is for that. Let's say we take that. And so we look at the age adjustment parameter, and we are going to see that if we have an age category of 1, then we want to add 15%, let's say like this. Suppose if you are below 25 or around 25, so you have a gain of 15%, right? You can add 15% to your stock allocation. And if you are in the 2 category, you can add 5. But if you are in a 3 category, that means if your age is between 40 to 65, then in that case, you have to take away the 5%, minus 5 here. And if it is more than that, if you're not a 4 age category, then you have to take away the 15%. But how are these categories defined? In our particular case, we simply used if statement, which I showed you here, right? That if the age is between 25 and 40, the age category 2, 40 to 65, the age category 3, 65, then age category 4. Like this, we have taken a if statement in Excel. We go through and make a simple adjustment based on the level of risk now. Okay. So now, the Nobo advisor here, the key part is that those parameters, if we set these parameters appropriately, then we are going to have a great portfolio. And if we are not able to set the parameters appropriately, if the programming behind the scene isn't good, then your portfolio is going to crash. It's not going to work well. So the system is, the algorithm does not really understand the investor. It is just operating on the data we have in the background. For example, it is plus 15 to minus 15. Okay. Spread accordingly. So if you see here, you can see here the stock allocation, how it is done. For all, the stock allocation total, for US stock, how much allocation is done, and for international stock, how much. For a small and small value stock, see here. Bond allocations, because the person has told yes and all. So all these are done here. So it really depends. This is a good starting point actually, that how first you do the, develop it on the Excel and then try to do the programming on it. So it is very easy that system go through all these parameters, make similar allocation based on, say, as I showed you, international exposure, investor looking for versus US exposure, whether the investor looking for small cap or, traditional large cap, the level of bond investment, the investor wants to do. Again, these parameters are nothing very magical. Those people who are into it, they will know how to put those parameters properly. So the need to be, this entire parameters need to be set by intelligent human being behind the scene. The point is that even in the world of AI and robo advising, there is still a role of human in terms of making sure that not only the program is technically correct, but it makes sense, and it has the expertise of the investor advisors. So if we make changes in any of the parameters, we will have a massive impact on all the user. For example, let's say like this. If we go and change the age, what will happen? We make it 50. Okay. And let's see. See here, the change is there. Let's go here. Can you see from 50, it has become 37.5. These are the parameters. These will remain same, but this will change. So any change you make here, it is basically going to impact you this. So the allocation is actually based on the level of investment, the particular interest of the investors, and also if you can see the forecasting, which is also based on the future value functions, right? Let's see. Okay. So all these are there. So there are basic robo advisors which work on this. It's not very magical. This you can do, as I have shown you in the form of Excel. The same thing, you can develop a programming and you can make use of it. So if you want, I can share all these kinds of detail. Now my last portion of my session will be that what are the various kinds of alternative investment in online investment. What are the different kinds of companies who are actually using these kinds of things? So let us see some examples so that you can learn from those examples that how these companies are making use of it. I'll just go to these examples first. So alternative investment in online investing, fintech, robo-advising, you're the one which I just gave you example of. So if you can see here, these are some investment variety of alternative investment vehicles which are available for investments. I will take you to this portal. One is Yield Street. Okay, so Yield Street is very good. So Yield Street is there. The Yield Street offers alternative investment opportunity on online portal. And I found it better than all this other. I will show you one Indian also a website, which is also good. One of my students showed me that, which is not very popular, but it's very good. So 15% of range, according to them, is the year's offering, which they give. I will show you that. What type of investments are they offering? The things like they can investment in the form of commercial real estates, investing in retail pharmacies. It also includes things like industrial financing, litigation finance, retail portfolios, marine finance, varieties of other things, right? So area of fintech you can explore on this side. Hill Street is very, very good platform. The other platform is Reality Share. Reality Share is also something you have to create an account in this. This also give you a lot of investment opportunity. You can invest through their platform in hotels, anywhere in apartments. Basically, they're focusing on retailing real estates, and you can also invest in retail and industrial real estate applications. So Reality Share have basically handle those kinds of things. Then this is one thing, if you are a beginner and in your an early stage and you want to invest in an early stage company like Uber or Airbnb at their earlier stage, or funding partners, or you want to go for a funding portal where you want trying to invest in these. So that, and this is the one Circle Up. I'll show you this. So Circle Up is very good. You can do investment in a grocery, makeup company, cosmetic companies, restaurants, nature-based company, sustainable energy company, anything like that. Okay. So let me take you to the sites now. Okay, fine. So you can see now this is Circle Up for the beginners. So you can see various kinds of companies here. You have a lot of case studies in this. You can go through that. So you can see a coffee making. So many brands are there. See here, personal care, beauty, food brands, pet products. So household durable brands, non-alcoholic beverages, all these things are there. They have a blog where they have every kind of information available for you. Then this is also one of the company called Betterment. You have to log in actually to go through this. This is just like Zerodha and Demat, any Demat account, but this is better than those. Deep Brain, I wanted to show you this. Deep Brain is this. I think I've already shown you that Deep Brain. Yeah, Yield Street. So Yield Street is also this. You can get start. You can watch the overview. So I'll not run through this. You can just go yourself and explore these sites. It's a private marketing investment, real estate, venture capital, short-term notes. So many things are diversified funds are there. So many things are there. You can understand this concept is also picking up the private marketing investing. All those things are there. So they use robo-advisors. That is what I wanted to tell you all, that how the robo-advisors are basically used. And the last portion is something called borrowing and lending. And that's my last slide. Okay. So borrowing and lending on P2P, peer-to-peer market. So another major area of fintech involved is online lending, right? So Lending Club is one of the biggest online lender. As the name suggests that people can borrow money online. Now the difference versus is that you can fill out a loan application in a traditional bank. Suppose you want to apply a loan for business, you can go to SBI, you can go to HDFC, whatever bank. And in this case, what happens is Prosper and Lending Club is the borrower and lenders platform. The Prosper and Lending Club will let you invest your own money or borrow money from others. So there are set of investors and there are set of lenders, borrowers and investors. So depending on what you're looking for, right, you can do this across the country for 10 millions of dollars in a loan. Lending Club is very, very, popular. You can borrow any amount of money. There is no minimum and maximum amount over there. You can also lend, for example, $25. For an example, you want to buy something, you can do that. So this is a very good example of borrowing and lending on an online, and one of the example of fintech. And it has a great deal of transparency in the investment space. So when we scroll down to the individuals, you can go to this website on the Lending Club website. And there is one particular, spot there called Education Center. So in this particular education center, if when you go there, you can find out and you can read and you can do better investments. It also advises you whether you are investing in a right place or not. It also advises you and gives you the aggregation. It's like an aggregator. It will tell you that which are the loan providers, what kind of risk involved in taking loan from them, and how do you pay back to them. Suppose if you're not able to pay back, what are the other options you can use to pay back the money. So what is interesting is that we can go and examine the loan statistic on these lenders and download the data. For example, the investor performance also you can see, and you can also see the loan performance. So a lot of statistics is available. The interest rate on the loan on average, the relative risk, whether that particular loan is suitable for you or not. You have to put your own data also in that, and you can understand whether that is suitable for you or not. All these kinds of things are there. So this is also one of the example in the thing. Now, this is where I'm going to stop now. I think it's more than 6:30. I'm open for questions, unless and until it is not very deep into finance, I can answer. I'll try to answer.
Yes, ma'am. So regarding the robo investing, ma'am. So if there is any fluctuation in the market and the return is not what it was shown before, so who will be liable for that?
No, see, as I told you already that I showed you that's the reason why with the help of the Excel, right? It is very important that how you set the parameters. The technology itself will not do a great work on its own. Like then there is still this area is still evolving. So you like just like any other kind of a demand account where it gives you an advice and entirely it give you a disclaimer also and tell you that it is entirely up to you. Right? It will actually try to understand the various factors affecting that stock and predict and do the forecasting for you. But what if suddenly that the certain factor change? There's a war. Nobody is suspecting, right? Ukraine, Russia war, all those kinds. If you're not suspecting or it is not being forecasted, then in that case something will happen. Or suddenly the US, I was telling you the UK Prime Minister case. So how does it impact? So there are small things. A company was doing really well, and the CEO of the company changed. The stock price crumbled, right? Or there is a criminal case like Yes Bank scam. All these factors, they can predict to an extent, but they can't be astrologers or they can't be God, where they can give 100% prediction. Accuracy can't be 100% over there. So that is one thing. I also want to show those people who are interested that this is one of my students who has shown me this site. It's very good when in terms of when you go. It's called Chittorgarh. And if you see here, this is also one example of robo-advisor, but they do a lot of input, manual input into it. So you can see here all kinds of funds, IPO review. You have, see here. So all these recommendation and all these things are there, but ultimately then it is up to you. And you also need to have, and you need to have the riskability. Ultimately, it is gambling like, right? You should know. So you can't say that, oh, you did this. So I will blame you. I need only gain. I don't want loss. So disclaimer is there always.
So most of the robot users, they are working on the previous data. So if there is any like minor event that can affect the stock market, then it can't be predicted.
Yes.
So in that case, it may.
Yeah. It works on a pattern, historical data pattern, and accordingly do the forecast. For in every field, it works like that. It predicts or do the forecasting. But a new event is added, which was eventually not there in the historical pattern. Then in that case, it will add up for the new people. Like Corona. People knew or did forecasting that Corona is going to shut down the business. So it happened eventually. Now people have added this. Okay, fine. If something like this kind of a thing happened, so what will be the impact? But then again, you can't predict a natural disaster or anything like that. You can't predict about that. Okay, a lot of people have left. I assume that they didn't find it interesting. So they left. Out of 24, 36 people, only 12 are there. I don't know. Anyway, you can tell me that what can be the next session, because then I think few sessions are only left with you all. So you can just try to focus on something, because you tell me now, I do a lot of research from my capability, and then I have to ask my colleagues. I sat with so many of my colleagues who are in this and try to understand all these, and then I used it. So I have to come up with something which is useful for you. So you have to tell me that what kind of session you want next.
Can you share this Excel file?
Yeah, you want the Excel file, right? I'll share this. That's what my advice. Even my colleague who are very good and expert in all these financial things, financial modeling and all, they all told me that first build every model in Excel. Excel is a very powerful tool. Do the programming then. And once you understand all the parameters which you are required for stock allocation or asset allocation, then go ahead and make a programming or coding on that, and you'll never go wrong with this. Okay, I'll share this with Harinakshi ma'am. She'll share it with you. I have 2-3 more Excel file with more number of examples over there. I'll share all. You people go through it. And if you're interested, see, financial industry, fintech industry is going to grow by leaps and bounds. Huge opportunity there. So if you want to really do something really good, you have to go through this.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am, there's another request, ma'am. Can you include NFT concept in your session?
Yeah. Okay.
So as you
The
mentioned,
concept, I have little idea, but I have to go through that and I will find out and I will do that.
as you
NFT,
mentioned,
okay, I was also thinking of NFT. So do that. Read about some articles on blockchain in social media networking. How it's going to affect the social media also. And especially if you are interested, it looks like you both are interested in financial thing. You don't leave this here. Do some courses on finance available everywhere, right? If you want, you can, I will write my number. You can personally text me, okay? And what you can do is I will ask my colleagues who are expert in that to give some suggestion on those courses. And these courses are very, not very expensive, but really good in terms of gaining knowledge about the capital investment or marketing or financial modeling. All these kinds are picking up a lot. And then if you understand that, the blockchain becomes very easy. There are only few people, or the opportunities in blockchain and bitcoins and all these kinds of technology is huge. And there's a shortage of skilled people in that. So make a career where there is a high demand and low supply. Another 5 years or 2-3 years, it will remain, and then everybody will read, everybody will know about blockchain.
About blockchain, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the engineering, few years back, everyone like, I want to become an engineer.
No, that's okay. See, that's my daughter is also engineer, but you have to do management. Otherwise, you will be stick to this technical. After some time, you will become bored of coding. And ultimately, the ideas, the companies, when they come to you, they want some understanding of these management concept with you. They can't explain you and sit and train you and say that, oh, you know what, how this is how it works. They'll just tell you simple things, but they can't train you. You need to have that training. And the company will look for those kinds of people. That's why the company are looking for people who are not only engineers, they have management. So, like for IIM's is offering, IIM Bangalore is offering, if you want, you can personally message, I will send you. It's a little expensive, but it's a very good course. It's an online plus offline course. Offline, few days you have to go there. It's called Technology and Management course. And you get IIM Bangalore certificate. So you can see, you can do that course from anywhere, even from Harvard and all those places, but those are very expensive. So IIM has a course called, and in that AI is one of the major component. So, and the management concept with that. I'm trying to integrate both because I'm from management background. So I'm trying to integrate and tell you that this is also necessary. You have to integrate the management knowledge with technology and try to understand. If you don't understand only the concept of business, how are you going to develop the solution? So technical knowledge is not only enough. You need to have the understanding of industry, what is in demand. You need to have understanding of the management concepts. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
So that's what I need to add on that one. If you permit, I will talk for
Yeah,
2
no issues, Altaf sir.
Yeah. So as rightly said, Shishirek, guys, the
I think something is network. Maybe Altaf sir, you can switch off your video. Harinakshi ma'am, what should we do? I think he's got logged off or what?
No, he's still there, but his network connection is off, I think. No video, no audio.
Okay. So what do we do? He's logged off. I don't see him here.
Yeah, no, he is logged off.
So
I will contact him.
So what we can do is we can have on the next session, maybe first few minutes, Altaf sir speaking, because I think he has good knowledge about financial things, right? Whatever
Okay.
things I had shared that. Arinakshi ma'am, I'll send you these Excel file, but I want you to share it with only those people who are interested, because these are something which is not my property, somebody else who has done it. And if it is distributed publicly to everybody and who doesn't want it, doesn't make sense. So only you ask people who will require this Excel file, give it only to them.
Okay, madam. I'll ask through group.
Yeah.
If anybody interested, then only I'll share it.
Only if they are interested and they want to develop any, or if it is of use to them, then only I will share that. Okay. Because this is my, the organization files which we have. So please make sure that those who want it, only these people should get it. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll leave now. Okay.
Okay.
Monday
Madam.
we'll
Thank
meet
you.
again.